सृजनशीलताको नौलो आयाम, नवीन विषय, नवीन प्रस्तुति। कार्यक्रम नवोदय संगालो, सृजनशील विद्यार्थीहरूको आवाज।
मात्र रेडियो मकवानपुर 101.3 मेगाहर्ट्जमा हरेक शुक्रबार साँझ 7 बजे।
मेरो जीवनको उदय नवोदय जीवनभर सिक्ने चाहनाको।
Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. आदरणीय श्रोतामाझ नवोदय एसआरसी परिवारको तर्फबाट नमन टक्राउन चाहन्छु। नवोदय संगालो रेडियो मकवानपुर 101.3 मेगाहर्ट्जमा सुनिरहनु भएको छ। Hello everyone. Today we are back again with yet another episode of Navodaya Creativity Agglomeration, which we call in Nepali Navodaya Sangaalo, tuning at 101.3 megahertz on the Radio Maqwanpur. Dear listeners, various Navodaya clubs have been bringing crucial topics through this platform since the beginning of this month as a series of Navodaya Creativity Agglomeration. And this is Miri Sabista, student of grade 9 and a participant for today's podcast.
Namaskar, मेरा नाम संजय सिंह हो।
Hi listeners, this is me Ankita Agrawal studying in grade 8.
Hello everyone, it's me Pragati Sidapati, currently studying in grade 9 in Navodaya.
Hello everyone, it's me Pramit Koyala, student of grade 9.
We'd like to start the episode with a brief introduction to SRC and its description. SRC stands for Student Representative Council of the school. It is formed of a total 21 members including house captains, sport captains, house vice captain and a school captain. The functionality of SRC totally depends on the members' collaboration, responsive attitude, leadership and determination.
In the same way, SRC can be considered at the heart of the school, as they perform and manage various activities related to the programs, discipline and overall image of the school by directing the activities of students.
Just like how we smoothly conducted the annual sport week, which was a great success. So a small idea about it is that annual sports week is a weekly sport program held by the administration and SRC. This includes both inter-school and athletics games. The team games were held till the 5th day of the sports week, whereas the athletics and track and field were held from the 6th day. The venue was Campadada Field. The team games include basketball, football, cricket, and solo table tennis.
Before going into the discussion, let's have a short review on the sport week. As we have one of the sport captain present here, how did you feel about this year's sport week?
Well, I feel like it was a grand as usual, but experiencing it as a SRC member, more like an sport captain, is more thrilling. It was an amazing experience to be working as a SRC during the sport week. It was fun and thrilling.
Now that we are done with the brief introduction about SRC and a little introduction to its functionalities, let's move on to the topic that we have got to discuss today. We are taking up a major issue of discussion today, that is, education under the current circumstances.
The topic itself is controversial as a major issue of discussion today. Considering the situation of the pandemic, which is of course COVID-19, there are much more consequences felt all around the globe rather than the ones we have encountered. Many of us think that health should be first ever priority now, which is true. But there are more queries as to why we cannot actually come up with a solution to this particular question of how do we maintain one's health without affecting the other works we do.
Besides, we have been troubled by the third variant of COVID-19 itself. Isn't it a coincidence that every time or specifically every new year we can say, COVID give us a brand new surprise?
Seems so.
Anyways, let's reflect on the cases of COVID. Globally, during the week 3 to 9 January 2022, the newly weekly COVID-19 cases increased markedly by 55%, while the new weekly deaths remained similar to those reported during the previous week. This corresponds to over 15 million new cases and over 43,000 new deaths. As of 9 January, over 304 million confirmed cases and over 5.4 million deaths have been reported.
विश्वभरि नै कोरोना महामारीको संक्रमण हाल उच्च दरमा बढिरहेको छ। सन् 2022 जनवरीको 2-3 साताभित्रमा 55% ले महामारीको प्रकोप बढेको तथ्याङ्क विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठनले सार्वजनिक गरेको छ। पछिल्लो समयको परिणाम अनुसार 15 लाख नयाँ संक्रमण थपिएका छन् भने ती 40,000 नयाँ मृत्युदर रहेको छ।
As we know that due to the uncontrollable situation, the physical classes and school are closed again. But among the health and work, I wonder which one of them is more important, because it's genuine for us to care about our health, but how about the source of income we have? Poverty is killing people more than the virus itself, isn't it?
Well, much concerning issue, especially for the people of developing countries like Nepal, India, Jamaica, etc. They have been affected real bad with a lot of crisis. Countries have lost the control over their GDP and other financial resources. The social security system is under a lot of pressure. Large number of people are suffering poverty and unemployment.
So, at this particular point, education and the country's futures comes up as an issue to discuss seriously about. We all are well known about the fact that educational is the backbone of the country's development. It is totally over educational system from what kind of manpower the country might be receiving in the next 10 years.
Well, if the educational system is broken down completely, messed up at this point, then the students of today will have to struggle with issues like their age and the knowledge they gain. There is a certain criteria prepared by the government which we call curriculum, which is a base for the knowledge a student of that particular grade must gain the knowledge upon.
Following the past activities, it is quite evident that students of certain grades won't be able to acquire such a level of knowledge. This will result in more uneducated and unskilled manpower, which the country has to look after in the future. As the students already have lost their 2 precious years of their education, and the variant may as well affect their 3rd year. So basically, it's like an equation. The more we have faults in the education system for now, the harder it will be in the future for the manpower to gain employment and have income sources.
It seems like a tangled up issue. The more we are getting into it, the more it's getting confusing to me.
Look, it's not that difficult to understand. It's just that you might lack a little bit on understanding, because, it's a brain thing. Just kidding.
Yeah, you better be kidding right now.
Anyways, it's just that there are many problems going on because of COVID-19. As per me, I have been facing a lot of problems since the beginning of this COVID era. Like, I can't go to my taekwondo training regularly as I used to go before.
Also, my procrastination issues has had reached its peak. Now, even if I want to study hard, the things won't work out as I want it to be. Hence, it's a lot of pressure for me to attain good marks, and I'm really getting stressed because of this issue. And I'm devastated every time I see my grades.
It is obviously a negative point for the downfall in your skills, but the fact that you're concerned about your grades isn't really good, because grades don't define you in your future, do they?
Well, it would be much more applicable if it weren't for my future concerns. Because, you see, everyone sees the grades we have obtained now. And honestly, it's very devastating to know that good grades can sugarcoat some of the flaws you have, and it makes the person appear completely different from what they actually might be.
Agreed. It's evident that many students, especially the teens, has been troubled with these type of issues. Not every students have the supportive parents and people who might keep them going through what they are feeling. It's difficult to reach out to those who need help and support at this online world.
Exactly. It's clear that students who are struggling with their parents are not getting proper support. This might even lead some social issues and concern like cybercrimes, addiction, or even worse, depression.
Yeah, so what can we particularly do about this? Is there a way to make things, at least to an extent, that we can cope with the situation?
Yes, following the guidelines will help us maintain a health standard as well as continue our educational support for the future. Basically, we need to have this ideology that no matter what we are going through, it's all to pay off one day. As they say, there is always going to be a bright day after the darkest nights.
So true. And for those who are struggling with their academic performances, it's just that they're taking a bit more time to adjust to the situation. Pandemic has brought this emergency situation, and even after the schools were reopened, there still remained this culture of pressurization for obtaining marks and completing the curriculum.
But I honestly think that teachers are putting much more pressure on students about study, whether it is offline or online. I mean, they should be understanding once shouldn't they?
That's true, but every situation should be viewed from both of the perspectives. Teachers have equal responsibility and headache as much as us. They want our betterment and wants the learning in the best way possible. So they are giving the extra worksheets and all.
Totally true, as we know that the online classes has already taken down so many SS students. There are a lot of distractions students are facing, because of which it is hampering the studies. Teachers are trying to give assignments so that they don't have time for the distraction.
But do you think that we can clap using only one hand? Like if students want their betterment, don't you think that they should also put some kind of like effort from their side? Now, the problem we have discussed right now, it's something concerning and relatable to, I guess, most of the students at this particular point. So what might be the possible solutions to this problem?
Yes, you are absolutely correct. It's for the students, so students must put some efforts themselves too. For the betterment, the possible solutions can be: get a hold on yourself. This is the most important. Use your free time for something productive. Have full focus on the topic discussed. Make a goal target. Make a proper schedule.
Yeah, and this might be some additional tips to that as well. You can have the first number 1 for the organization, number 2 meditation, number 3 keeping yourself motivated, number 4 setting a goal for yourself, and number 5 daily assurance. So these are some of the additional points to the solutions which might actually be really helpful for all the students at this point to cope with the problems that they are facing.
This solution might help our students to be more productive during online classes.
So now about the more offhand solution, what else can we do?
Starting from the very first thing, that is organization. We shall focus on organizing ourselves and making sure that we aren't overwhelmed. Taking things from normal to advanced is completely okay. We can simply begin by making daily routines and organizing day as schedules and, like planning the assignments and all. Planning few activities to do today will absolutely help in making progress. You can even stick to the Kaizen principle, which says that slow progress is better than no progress. These all things are most of our solutions for the problems that we have discussed before.
And additional to that, describing a little bit more on the solution part, using your free time for something productive actually means that you can enroll for some kind of online lessons that are freely available today, and which are really productive for one to gain new skills and apply them to their practical life. Similarly, have full focus on the topic discussed means that whatever you're taking up, either it's an online class or online lesson, you must be focused and make sure that you get the idea of what you were supposed to gain from the discussion. And make a goal target, make a proper schedule. Setting a goal is always important to begin the first change. Before you begin your change and your transformation process, you must set a goal of what you might look like after you change yourself. So you firstly set a goal or target in order to achieve something that you desire to, and make a proper schedule to. The schedule is basically the steps to reach that particular target. So setting a particular target for yourself and then preparing a schedule to reach that particular target is something you can do in order to maintain your positive attitude and motivated self during this pandemic situation.
Yeah, also during this third wave, we shall make sure to stay as positive and motivated as possible. It's just a hard time we are all dealing with. The time's going to pass soon. Besides, we are already aware of how important and precious time is. So this time, I have been planning to focus on self-care and my academics to make myself more productive. I took up some free online tips on how to be more productive and practical.
Well, I thought of it too. But you know what? Online world is made of the world and is completely different to what a person might be experiencing. But as you see the growing trend, Nepali people tend to follow the lifestyle of people living in America and Europe states. They show that they are completely happy, while the reality might be something else.
True, most of the teenagers nowadays are distracted and cannot give the best of what they can. And I'm afraid to say, but many of us are also indulged in these type of activities.
Yeah, we need to follow up our schedules and make sure to keep ourselves motivated in order to prevent negative effects.
And following up with our academics might not be as difficult as it seems. With little more progress and much more effort, we can all achieve what we want.
So now we are in almost the end of our podcast. So before ending it, I'd like to highlight some major parts of our discussion, which were we must make an organized schedule for our works. Let's do our work on time and be an obedient student, helping our teachers as well. There are always problems roaming around us because life is full of them. We must overcome those and find a solution because life goes on. So yeah, we are running out of time for today as well. So we'll meet you again with our new episodes, new stories and new ideas in the next episode. Stay tuned with our Navodaya Sangaalo from Radio Makwanpur 101.3 MHz. Thank you everyone. Bye.
अनुशासन हुनेछ साथ मेरो समय नै सर्वोच्च हो हुँदिनमा कहिले ढिलो जिम्मेवारी र अनुशासन हुनेछ साथ मेरो समय नै सर्वोच्च हो हुँदिनमा कहिले ढिलो नवोदय नवोदय यहाँ हुँदैछ मेरो जीवनको
सृजनशीलताको नौलो आयाम, नवीन विषय, नवीन प्रस्तुति। कार्यक्रम नवोदय संगालो, सृजनशील विद्यार्थीहरूको आवाज।
मात्र रेडियो मकवानपुर 101.3 मेगाहर्ट्जमा हरेक शुक्रबार साँझ 7 बजे।